epithelial tissue is there, okay, the breast epithelial tissue, then the fibrous tissue and the fatty tissue.
What does mean dust? And the mean dust.
Yeah.
What does mean?
As he defines for you.
That's the best. Dust.
Yeah. He defines for you. The uncontrolled autonomous proliferation of cells anywhere in the body means the neoplasia, which is not under the control of the body. Okay. Exact definition you can refer to the Robbins. By this way you will open the Robbins also. So now we will discuss. So tumors can arise from the fibrous tissue, from the epithelial tissue, and even from the fatty tissue also. Okay. But there are tumors which arise only from the stroma or the fibrous tissue, which arise only from the epithelial tissue of the breast, or which arise from the bones. Okay, this is how we will. But the most common among the benign. First we will discuss benign and then we will go to the breast cancer. The most common of the benign lesion is the fibroadenoma. Is the fibroadenoma. Fibroadenoma means fibro means derived from the stroma or the fibrous tissue. Okay, and adenoma means the epithelial tissue is also involved. Okay, the glands are also there. So it is the most common benign tumor. It is a circumscribed lesion, well encapsulated, okay, composed of both proliferating glandular as well as the stromal component. Okay, it has both components, the epithelial or the glandular component and also the stromal component. Then these are mostly present below 30 years of age. So these are present at a younger age. Okay, sometimes these can be very big. We call them as giant fibroadenoma. Giant, bigger in size. And most important thing clinically is, if a female comes to you as a case of breast swelling, when you palpate, what happens? Sorry. What will happen if you hold the swelling? If you try to hold the swelling, it will slip out from your hand. It will slip. You have to again, it will slip. So just like we call it as a mouse, it slips from your hand. Huh? So this is also known as breast mouse. Okay. So this is a fibroadenoma, well circumscribed, encapsulated. Yeah. Breast mouse, I told you, it slips from the hand. The swelling, when the doctor tries to, palpate it, it slips. When you try to hold it, it slips. So this is a characteristic of fibroadenoma. The swelling, it slips from the hand. The second thing is now the gross morphology, well encapsulated, well circumscribed. Okay. Microscopically, you can have two types of fibroadenomas. As I said, these are composed of both stromal component as well as the epithelial component, the glandular component.
Okay.
So two types are there. One is known as pericanalicular fibroadenoma. What do you mean by pericanalicular? It means the ductal spaces are open. They are open, round to oval. But in intracanalicular, what happens? The ductal spaces become compressed.
Okay.
Normally ducts are like this, round, oval, open.
Okay.
Now the ducts become compressed like this, star shaped. Huh? So ductal spaces are compressed. Why? Because there is more proliferation of the stroma. So with respect to the glandular component, there is more proliferation of the stroma. Clear? Glandular component is also more, but much more is the stromal proliferation. So this stromal proliferation causes compression of the ducts. So the ducts become irregular and star shaped or slit shaped. Okay? Compressed and star shaped and slit shaped.
So
Yeah.
are there any chances to convert to?
Yeah, this is later. When I will talk with you regarding the fibroadenoma, what you can ask me, if at the end of the fibroadenoma I do not talk, then you can ask. Huh? Still the first page is there. Yes. In pericanalicular fibroadenoma, the ductal spaces, these are ducts. These are round, oval and open. But what happens in intracanalicular, there is more proliferation of the stroma. So this stroma compresses the ducts. So ducts become like this, slit shaped or star shaped. I will show you the diagram, it will be clear in
Excuse me,
that.
doctor.
Yes.
So both of them pericanalicular and intracanalicular are microscopic, right?
This is the microscopic
Yeah.
classification. of
Both of them appear, or just one of them, either perinuclear.
I will come to that.
Okay.
I will come to that.
Okay.
So this is the fibroadenoma, well circumscribed, okay? And this is the breast tissue which has been taken out, and this is the fibroadenoma, this one.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
So this is firm, spherical, encapsulated and smooth surface. So these are characteristics of the benign lesions, as you know. No, microscopic. Have a look. So most of the ducts here, they are round. Most, I am saying most.
Yeah.
Most are round and open. But here, in the intracanalicular, the proliferation of the stroma is more.
Mhm.
Though most of the ducts, they become compressed.
Okay.
So they are slit shaped
Mhm.
or sometimes star shaped
Star-shaped.
also.
Very
Slit
good.
shaped or star shaped. So what happens now? If the predominant component is this, we say it is intracanalicular.
Oh,
If the predominant component is this, we say it is pericanalicular.
yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But mostly you will find both the
Both.
components.
Mhm.
Huh? So here you find, but some of the ducts are compressed also.
Mhm. Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So predominantly you have to see which component is there, pericanalicular or intracanalicular. But we generally don't classify it when we give the reports. We say fibroadenoma. We don't say pericanalicular or intracanalicular. Most of the time we say fibroadenoma. So this is the fibroadenoma. The chances of progressing to breast cancer are very, very, very rare. Okay? Okay, dear?
Yes.
Very, very, very rare. Huh? So these are completely benign tumors. But if you are a PG pathology student, then you have sometimes, you will find more cellular fibroadenoma. We call them as cellular fibroadenomas.
Okay. Mhm.
But I do not include that in this. So this was fibroadenoma. No. The fibroadenoma is a benign tumor composed of both glandular as well as stromal components. Clear?
Yes.
Two types are there, pericanalicular and intracanalicular. No, the second thing is, there are some tumors which are derived only from the stromal tissue. And these tumors are known as phylloids tumors. Okay? Phylloids tumors. Only composed of stromal tissue. No glandular proliferation. Clear? So under the benign, you have fibroadenoma composed of both
Glandular and epithelial.
and only the stromal phylloids tumor.
Okay.
No, this phylloids tumor can be benign, but it can be malignant also sometimes. But most of the times, it is a benign tumor, but is aggressive. Aggressive. It is aggressive.
Mhm.
So this is a stromal tumor arising from the intralobular stroma. What do you mean by intra?
Inside.
Within the breast
Yeah.
lobule.
Yeah.
Breast lobules are there.
Mhm.
Okay. Within that breast lobule, we call it intralobular stroma, not interlobular. Interlobular means between the lobules.
Yeah.
This is one lobule, this is two. Between the lobule, the stroma. Intra means within the lobule, the stroma that is there. What is the functional unit of the breast? Anybody?
Duct.
No. Functional unit in a breast.
Ducts. Or,
Like in central nervous system, what is the functional unit? Neuron.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
In breast.
Ducts.
Have you gone the first slide of my lecture, non-neoplastic breast lesions? First slide. One term is there, TDLU. First slide, TDLU is there. But it is not, that is terminal duct lobular unit. This is the functional unit of the breast. Go to the first slide, non-neoplastic breast lesions. That is the terminal duct lobular unit. Nowadays we call it as the functional unit of the breast. What does it contain? It contains the lobule. Lobule is composed of, breast lobule is composed of acini. Okay? Acini they secrete the milk.
Okay.
Then there is intralobular duct,
Yeah.
which is within the lobule. Then there is extralobular duct. So this lobule, along with the extralobular duct, whole unit is called
Yeah.
terminal duct lobular unit. Anybody has this marker?
Terminal ducts.
There the No, sector.
It's on the board.
Look here. Breast is composed of these lobules. each lobule suppose these are small alveoli here. This is general structure I am telling you. So this portion alveoli are here. So these alveoli or acini will secrete the milk. This milk will go into intralobular duct. Clear? No, this intralobular duct, it lies within the lobule. But this lobule, it will go outside also. Okay? So this portion is the extralobular duct. Extralobular. And hold this unit from here to here, including the acini along with the intralobular duct and the extralobular duct, we call it as TDLU. TDLU. Terminal duct lobular unit. So this is the functional, you should know. Just like central nervous, you know what is the functional unit. Kidney, you know, nephron is there. Here, terminal duct lobular unit. Okay?
Okay.
So this is the stromal tumor which arises from the intralobular stroma. It can range from few centimeters to very huge lesions. Huge lesions.
Okay.
Big lesions, completely distorting the structure of the breast. And classically, phyllaids means leaf-like. The name, phyllaids. It has a leaf-like configuration on microscope. Okay, on microscope. So mostly they are low-grade lesions, but they can be high-grade lesions. Low-grade means you divide phyllaids tumor into low-grade lesions, which are benign, and high-grade lesions, which can be malignant.
Okay.
Now the low-grade lesions, they will not metastasize. Okay, but they can recur. If you remove them, they will recur. Okay, so this is the difference from the fibroadenoma. They can recur locally, but only locally. But they will not metastasize to other parts of the body. But high-grade lesions, they have an aggressive clinical behavior so that they will spread to other parts of the body.
Okay.
So they will metastasize. So this is also known as cystosarcoma phyllaids, but this is a misnomer. Okay? Cystosarcoma phyllaids is a misnomer.
But doctor, both of them are benign.
Which one?
Low grade and high grade.
No. High grade is malignant because it metastasizes.
Okay.
It only recurs locally. So you can remove it again.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Low grade only recurs. But here high grade, malignant, it will metastasize.
Okay.
Now this is, a big phyllaids tumor which has completely distorted the breast structure. So this, can you see this? So this is the breast epithelium. Okay? But there is proliferation of the stroma. Okay? So this proliferation of the stroma is basically the phyllaids tumor. Okay? So these are the leaf-like structures. Leaf, you know? Leaf?
Is it a vegetable?
Leaves. On the tree there are leaves.
Yeah.
Huh? Got it?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yes.
Tell them in Arabic.
ورق شجر.
Varg?
شجر.
Varg shajar. Shajar
Yeah.
means tree.
Tree, yes.
Okay.
And leaf is.
Varg.
Yeah.
Okay, this is also Varg.
Yeah.
Good. Arabic is good. Varg shajar. I am learning to some extent. So now we will go to the other slide. So these are the leaf-like structures, just like leaves.
Yeah.
Farul?
Yeah.
They cannot remove or cannot transform into malignancy.
Yeah. These are basically benign or malignant. High grades, they are malignant. They are included in the malignant variety because they will metastasize. Yeah. Yeah. I will show you the next slide. Then you will become more. So common in the 6th decade. Fibroadenoma, younger age.
Oh, yeah.
This in the 6th decade, almost old age. So round, well circumscribed. Mostly, we are talking about mostly they are round and well circumscribed. Firm. Gut section will give you leaf-like structures. Okay, and now there is basically this is composed of the stroma. So there is proliferation of the stroma, and it can have myxoid, bluish color also.
Okay.
And there is so much proliferation that the glands will be compressed and distorted. Glands, look here. So this is the phyllaids tumor. So these glands, they are smaller in size and distorted. So this is characterized by the proliferation of the stroma, and the glands are distorted and small and compressed. So high grade lesions, how you will say this is a high grade, which is a malignant variety.
Yeah.
So high grade have increased cellularity, but not only increased cellularity, there is more anaplasia along with increased mitotic activity also. When you will find high cellularity, that can be low grade also. But if the cellularity is much more, along with anaplasia and mitotic activity. So anaplasia and mitotic activity is important because they signify the malignancy, isn't it? Anaplasia means increased nuclear cytoplasmic ratio, hyperchromatism. Okay, these two features will be there. Then pleomorphism will be there. Huh? So mitotic activity you will see. You will find more mitosis.
Yeah.
So mitosis, but for diagnosing a malignancy, you should have one thing. Which type of mitosis? How many types of mitosis are there? Mainly two types. Yeah. I am talking about the mitosis only, not the meiosis. No, type of when you will see a mitosis, how you will say this mitosis is because of malignancy.
Divided into two and two divided into four.
No. Yes. Mitotic figures, but what is the difference between a mitotic figure which you will see? No, more
normal and abnormal.
normal and abnormal. There are typical and atypical mitotic figures. Normal and abnormal. In many tissues are there, like your bone marrow, skin is there, oral cavity, mucosa are there. All the tissues are proliferating.
Yeah.
So you can find mitosis, no problem, because they are dividing. But in malignancy, the mitosis will be abnormal. So you have bipolar spindles normally. Bipolar spindles are there. But in malignancy, you will find tripolar, quadripolar, multipolar, star shaped, caterpillar shaped. So mitosis shapes are different. If you find a bipolar mitosis, that is a normal. But if you find abnormal mitosis, tripolar, quadripolar, star shaped, so these are abnormal. So this will be characterized by the abnormal mitosis. Clear?
Okay.
So this is Phyllid's tumor, which is a stromal tumor. Mostly it is benign, okay, but sometimes can be malignant, which are also known as high-grade lesions. So we divide them into low-grade lesions, which have the propensity to recur locally, but the high-grade lesions which will metastasize.
Okay. Yeah.
So these high-grade lesions will be characterized by anaplasia and mitotic activity.
Okay.
Now comes the duct papilloma. Duct means duct. In the breast you have many ducts. What are the types of ducts? Duct is duct, but what are the types? In the breast, okay, apocrine ducts, but in the breast, how many types of ducts are there? You start from which duct? The acini will empty in which duct?
Lactiferous sinus.
First intralobular duct, followed by extralobular duct, followed by larger ducts, followed by lactiferous duct, followed by
Lactiferous sinus.
followed by nipple and out.
Can you repeat them, please, Doctor? Can you repeat them, please?
Names are
Intralobular.
intralobular duct, followed by extralobular duct, then some of the larger ducts, and these larger ducts will go into the lactiferous duct, lactiferous duct will go into the
Lactiferous
duct.
sinus. Okay. Okay.
So, basically these duct papilloma is benign, isn't it?
Yeah.
Papilloma is benign. So papilloma is composed of papillae. Clear? This is a benign tumor which arises mostly in the large ducts. Mostly it arises in the larger ducts. And these are small and pedunculated. Smaller, pedunculated and friable. Easily they can break down. Friable. So this is one of the ducts. And this is a papilloma. Okay? This is papilloma. So whole papilloma is there. Duct along with the papilloma. In microscopy you can see the whole structure. So this is composed of papillae. Okay? These papillae have a fibrovascular core lined by the epithelium. Okay? This is the true papilla. Okay? Fibrovascular core lined by epithelial tissue. This is true papilla. So these are papillary structures. So small pedunculated friable growth and composed of the branching papillae, which have this vascular connective tissue, which is covered by epithelial and myoepithelial cells. Most of the patients, they present with, this is important here. So if a patient comes to you with a discharged nipple, so what other things you will think? First thing, pregnancy, isn't it? In pregnancy also in the later parts there can be discharge. Then other things are maybe some benign lesion, fibrocystic disease or a papilloma or maybe malignancy. So there are two things in which you can find, although other things are also, but two things in which you can find bloody discharge from the nipple. Bloody discharge, you have to take it very, very seriously. Bloody discharge most of the times is because of the breast cancer. Most of the times. But there is one benign condition which can give rise to bloody nipple discharge. That is
duct
duct
papilloma.
papilloma. Huh? So the benign condition which gives rise to bloody nipple discharge is the duct papilloma. So here the differential diagnosis.
Okay.
Differential diagnosis.
Yeah.
Bloody nipple discharge, two things. So good doctor, two things.
Yeah.
Breast cancer maybe or maybe
duct
duct
papilloma.
papilloma.
Okay.
How you will solve? Go to the pathologist. Pathologist will bear the burden, will diagnose it and give it back to you. Isn't it? He will see either the discharge itself. If there is underlying swelling, you will request the pathologist to perform the FNAC. So FNAC will tell you. And if you want to be more specific, the surgeon will excise a part of the swelling and give it to you. And you will determine. So they may be solitary or multiple. So duct papillomas present in the large ducts and composed of papillary structures, small pedunculated, the size is very small and they are very friable and can give rise to serous or bloody discharge. So in this we complete the benign lesions, fibroadenoma,
Phylloids,
tumor,
tumor,
and
and
duct
duct papilloma. Yeah.
There are many others, but small we don't want.
Okay.
Main, the important ones we know. The very important topic, breast carcinoma. Breast carcinoma, most of the good things which we are having are from the USA. The figures and other things. So Alhamdulillah, we have something from Saudi Arabia also this time. So this is from the cancer registry of Saudi Arabia. So look, in 2010, 2 lakh invasive breast cancer cases, 200,000 in women in the United States, and this is second only to lung cancer. Breast cancer is second only to lung cancer as the commonest cause of cancer-related deaths in women. So most common cause in women of cancer deaths is because of lung cancer. Second is the breast cancer. So how much important it is? Very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia, it is the number 1 cancer among the females. Number 1. 27.4% of newly diagnosed breast cancer cases. Okay? So this is the figure in 2010. And incidence has been found to be more in the American and European countries. Okay? But the mortality is dropping. From 30% it has dropped to 20%. Maybe because of more use of mammography.
Yeah.
Early detection of the lesions. No FNAC is also there. Self breast examination. Anybody knows about the self breast examination? What is that?
I had it last year.
Breast self examination means the female has to do
Herself.
the breast examination.
Yeah.
This is very important. Very, very important. I don't know precisely after how much time, but ideally I think 3 to 6 months, once in 3 months or 6 months, a female should do the breast examination. This is very important. If there is small swelling, she can go to the doctor. Suppose it is a cancer in situ. So it can be detected at an earlier stage. But most of the times what happens? No breast self-examination. People are totally, and when the swelling reaches more than 2 centimeters, and in many cases even the nodes are involved, the patient, I am having, then it is very difficult for the doctor also. But nowadays, alhamdulillah, we go for modified radical mastectomy. Breast along with lymph nodes and other parts, they are removed, and the prognosis has, it's better. So because of increased detection at an earlier stage, the mortality has decreased from 30 to 20%.
Okay.
So, now what are the risk factors for breast cancer? There are some factors which are well established. We know. Definitely they have a role. There are some which have less well established influences. So well established influences are the geographic influences. Geographic variations in the American countries, in the European, the incidence is more. In the Asian and African, the incidence is less. Okay?
Yeah.
So they say it is more of the lifestyles of the patients in those countries. Okay? Environmental influences. Because of that, maybe some of the females don't fed their babies, like in American, European. So they have more chances.
Also families.
Why? Anybody can tell me why, if a female feds a baby, or if there is pregnancy or lactation is there, why there are less chances as compared to females who do not fed or who are not pregnant? Anybody else? Cyclic breast change is okay. They are related to the menstrual cycle.
The change in the breast.
Look, what happens when the breast tissue is there in males, why the breast cancer is less? It is not well developed. Already the breast is not well developed. Huh? So, in females, what happens when there is lactation, pregnancy followed by lactation? There is terminal differentiation of the cells. So, terminal differentiation, formation of the acini, results in less chances, because when the tissues are terminally differentiated, they have less chances of going into de-differentiation, reversal. You got it? Terminally differentiate. So all the cells, if you have to cross few things. If you cross all the things, you are safe. Just like the cells, they form ducts, then they form the acini. So they are performing their roles. So less chances. Their terminally differentiation occurs. All the things are complete. So when the things are not complete, more chances of. So terminal differentiation in a human being is very important. In human beings, the terminal differentiation will result in less number of cancers. If the cells are terminally differentiated, they perform their final full functions. In the female, the breast is supposed to secrete the milk. If the breast has the acini, it secretes the milk, so less chances of breast cancer. That is why it is more common in the nulliparous.
Never have
In the nullipara, no pregnancy, no lactation, so more common in it. So geographic variation, age. After 30, the chances are more. So old age, no doubt, more chances are there. Genetics, we will discuss. It has something, more than that, to do with the genes. Family history. If it runs, it can run in the families. If there is a family history, no doubt, there are more chances of breast cancer. It can vary, 1.5 times the increased risk to more than 9 times. It varies depending upon, the female who was having lobular cancer or ductal cancer or in situ cancer, the family history, she was having cancer pre-menopausally or post-menopausally. You got it? She was having bilateral cancer. So depending upon that, the risk increases 1.5 to almost 9 times. Okay, I have not put the figures not to confuse you. Figures are important, wherever important, they have been put. So first degree relatives, more chances are there. Then early menarche and late menopause. So long reproductive history can also lead to more because of more estrogenic influences. More estrogenic influences, it can lead to more breast cancer. Nulliparity, as there is no terminal differentiation of the breast. Late age at first pregnancy. Again, this can be the cause. Late age, 25, 30, 35. So chances increase. Because, again, terminal differentiation of tissue will take place at a later age. Then proliferative breast disease without ATP also. Without ATP also there is increased risk. With ATP, no doubt, more risk. Okay? Without ATP, 2 times the risk.
Okay.
Okay? With ATP, like atypical hyperplasia, 5 times the risk. And lobular carcinoma in situ maybe 10 times the risk. Okay? So this these have definite influence on the breast cancer. Definitely you have seen that these are the definite well-defined causes. Now less well-defined, exogenous estrogens, exogenous from outside. Oral contraceptives, exogenous estrogen from outside.
What?
Replacement therapy.
Like hormone replacement therapy. Okay?
Yeah.
Oral contraceptives.
Exogenous, sure.
Nowadays, doctors are not preferring the hormonal therapies. Okay? For the post-menopausal women. Previously, they used to give, every now and then. So it was increasing the rate, risk of breast cancer because estrogen have a positive influence on the breast cells. I will tell you how. Oral contraceptives again, it is composed of estrogen and progesterone, so increased risk. But nowadays, the oral contraceptives have minimal quantities of estrogen and progesterone that are well balanced.
Yeah.
So nowadays they say there is no increased risk. Okay.
Okay.
Obesity, it will give rise to more chances because of more estrogens.
Yeah.
High fat diet again, the more estrogens will be generated. Alcohol consumption and cigarette smoking and alcohol consumption every now and then they come. In almost every cancer in the body. Cigarette smoking and alcohol. So these are important things which will be there. These are the risk factors. Then look here. Long duration between menarche and menopause will lead to more unopposed estrogens. Obesity, unopposed estrogens. Okay. Radiations can also lead to altered growth of the breast epithelium. Atypical hyperplasias, this is the family history and all increase the risk for the breast cancer. Clear? No, what is the pathogenesis? You have seen the risk factor, the causes. Now going to the pathogenesis. Three main things are there. One is the genetic change, which is very, very important. Okay? In the genetic change, you have the hereditary breast cancer, which is 5 to 10% of the total cases of the breast cancers. 5 to 10% they are hereditary. Okay? And in this, half of the people have BRCA1 mutation and 1/3 have BRCA2 mutation. So these are the two genes which are very important in the hereditary breast cancer. Okay? Well defined, you have well defined roles. And first mutation is from birth in the womb. Okay? Germline mutation. Clear? And second mutation occurs outside, which is called the somatic mutation. Clear? So, if a person inherits BRCA1 mutation, so there the second mutation will occur after the birth, maybe 30 year, 40 year, whatever age. And say after the second mutation, the cancer will occur. So BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes, anybody can tell which type of gene it is? Tumor suppressor genes. These are basically involved in the DNA repair. So they repair the DNA. So when they are not in good health themselves, so DNA will not be repaired.
Yeah.
Mutations will carry on, then breast cancer will form. And this was the hereditary breast cancer associated with BRCA1, BRCA2. Then the sporadic breast cancer, most of the cases are sporadic. Here you will not find the BRCA1 or BRCA2. Very rare to find these mutations. But instead you will find in 30% of the cases, HER2 new proto-oncogene will be affected. This is basically epidermal growth factor receptor. Okay? This is a receptor, epidermal growth factor, where the growth factor attaches. Okay? Suppose this is mutated. What will happen? This is a receptor for the growth factor. So if it is mutated, it doesn't need the growth factor now. Autonomic function.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Epidermal growth factor situated on the breast epithelium. When the growth factor will come, it will cause the growth of the epithelium. But if it is mutated, it doesn't need the growth factor. Autonomous activation. Clear? So this is how the things are there. So 30% will have HER2 new. Rest of the cases RAS, NIC, RB, P53 and estrogen progesterone receptors. Clear? These genes may be affected. So mostly these genes are affected in sporadic breast cancer. HER2 new and P53, RB, MYC, RAS, estrogen progesterone. So this is the genetic basis. Many genes are involved in the breast cancer. Then hormonal influences, the estrogens. Okay? From inside or from outside. Now, how the estrogens act on the breast cells and how they cause increased proliferation of the breast epithelium. Estrogen basically they can act on the breast epithelium, they can act on the cancer cells also. Two things are there. They act on these breast cells as well as on the cancer cells of the breast. What they do, they lead to increased production of growth factors. Once increased amounts of growth factors are produced, they will act back on the breast cells as well as on the cancer cells.
Okay.
Isn't it? So there is an autocrine mechanism. So estrogen stimulates the autocrine mechanism. There is a breast cell here, there is a cancer cell. Okay? Estrogen comes, binds to the breast cell, binds to the cancer cells and leads to more production of the growth factor. Once growth factors are produced like fibroblast growth, transforming growth factor, alpha, many growth factors are there. So these growth factors again bind back to the breast cancer cells as well as the breast cells and lead to autonomous proliferation, autonomous growth. So this is the autocrine mechanism. Cells producing growth factor, it acts back on the cell. The vicious cycle is formed. Clear? This is how estrogen acts. Acts on both the cells, normal cells as well as on the cancer cells. Leads to more growth factors which act back on the cells and there is a cycle of proliferation going on. Clear?
Okay, it's clear.
So this is how the hormonal influences are there and then there are environmental influences. Okay?
Yeah.
You know many things are there in the environment also. So this is the pathogenesis, genetic, hormonal and environmental. Now how you classify? You classify main two headings are there. One is non-invasive or in situ carcinomas, another is invasive. Non-invasive means, in situ means it is confined to the epithelium, doesn't cross the basement membrane. So it can arise within the ducts, within the lobule. Within the duct, within the lobule. Lobule is this, ducts are outside. Okay? Maybe within also interlobular duct. So within the lobule they can arise and outside the lobule means in the ducts. So if in situ carcinoma arises in the duct, it is called ductal carcinoma in situ. If in the lobule, lobular carcinoma in situ. If it is invasive ductal carcinoma. If it is lobular, invasive lobular carcinoma. So main two things are there. From the duct, from the lobule. Okay?
Yeah.
In situ and invasive. But ductal carcinomas as such we say these are not otherwise specified beings. These are not special types. But there are special types of ductal carcinoma. These are the special types. Clear?
Yeah.
Medullary carcinoma, it's a type of ductal carcinoma. Okay? This is not otherwise special, no special type. Means it is not a specialized type. But specialized types are medullary carcinoma, colloid carcinoma or mucinous carcinoma, tubular carcinoma, papillary and metaplastic. Clear?
Clear. Doctor, the first two ductal and tubular, both of them are not specific, or
Which
just
one?
the ductal, invasive.
Invasive, most of the types of invasive cancers, they are ductal cancers and they are not otherwise specified.
What about lobular?
Lobular is only one, invasive lobular carcinoma.
And
These are types of the ductal carcinoma but special types.
Okay.
Okay? They come under the ductal carcinoma but special. If you classify ductal carcinoma, it will be non-special type and special type.
types.
These are the special types. These.
Okay.
And this is not special type or no specific type.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We classify breast cancers into in situ and invasive. Okay. They can arise from the ducts, from the lobules. Clear? No. We classify invasive into two, ductal and lobular. In the leave lobular aside. In the ductal we have no special type. It is no special type.
Okay.
But you can have under the ductal special types. Special types like medullary, colloid, tubular, papillary and metaplastic. Okay? So this is the classification. Clear?
Yes.
So these are types of ductal carcinoma, but special types. No, this is the classification non-invasive and invasive. Clinical features, you know, lump
Yeah.
or lumps.
Yes.
Discharge can be there. It can be hard, soft, or there can be inflammation also.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cancer cells infiltrate the lymphatics and cause inflammation. Okay? It is not true inflammation. The breast will be red, but it is not true inflammation. Okay? It is only due to the infiltration of the lymphatics. Skin fixation may be there. retraction of the nipple may be there. At 50% of the cases, you divide upper outer quadrant.
Yes.
Okay, 50%. The rest of the quadrants 10% and nipple and areola 20%.
Okay.
So majority of the cases are in the upper outer quadrant. Important from the MCQ point of view. Upper outer quadrant. So diagnosis, you know, mammography, ultrasonography. Just
about the pain. Is it painful or?
it can be painful, cannot be painful also, depending upon the size. When the size goes on increasing, it will be painful. Okay.
Yes.
So mammography, ultrasonography, fine needle aspiration, biopsy, core biopsy, excision biopsy, frozen biopsies, many things are there.
Yeah.
Just to make you, more wise, I have kept it on one slide.
Okay.
Then ductal carcinomas.
Yeah.
In situ means they are confined within the ducts, only within the duct. Do not cross the base. This is the basement membrane. Do not cross the basement membrane. Okay. These are 5% of the cases. Invasive. Look, it is not well circumscribed. This whitish. So streaks of tissues, breast cancer tissue. This whitish. Streaks going into the normal breast tissue here. And this is the invasive. Look, clusters of malignant cells growing diffusely in a dense fibrous stroma. So this is invasive, 75% of the cases. So most common is the invasive ductal carcinoma. Ductal carcinoma in situ. What you will find? Ducts will be filled by the cells. Ducts will be filled by cells. And this can give rise to many types. Like solid. Solid means the whole duct will be filled by cell. Whole duct. Without any spaces. No spaces will be there. Comedo means there will be central necrosis. This duct is filled by cells, but in the center, the cells undergo necrosis. So this is the central necrosis. See, this is the comedo pattern. Then the cribriform pattern means it will be filled by cells, but there are punched spaces, punched out spaces. Some spaces will be there. So this is known as cribriform. Then sometimes you can find completely solid duct, completely filled with the cells, and sometimes you can find papillae within the ducts. So these are the ductal carcinoma in situ. Types are comedo with central necrosis, solid completely filled, cribriform with punched out spaces, and you can have the papillae also. Ductal carcinoma in situ. But all these cells will not cross the basement membrane. They will remain inside the ducts. Then invasive ductal carcinoma. What is you will find grossly or clinically? Hard and irregular. Fibroadenoma, slippery, well defined, but this will be hard, maybe fixed also, irregular. So these, and sometimes if it has infiltrated the skin lymphatics, if the cancer cells have gone into the lymphatics of the skin, it can lead to pure orange appearance, like the orange of the skin, orange skin. So breast skin will be like the orange. So this is lymphatic obstruction leading to dimpling or thickening of the skin, and it can infiltrate the nipple and lead to Paget disease of the nipple. So you will find redness, inflammation and itching of the nipple. It can cause retraction of the nipple. Nipple goes in. Okay. Axillary lymph nodes. It can spread to axillary lymph nodes and undergo metastasis to lung, brain, bones. Invasive ductal carcinoma. What are the different histological types now? Most common is serous carcinoma or intraductal carcinoma of no special type. As I told you, 75% of the cases almost. So you will find cluster of the malignant cells which run in fibrous stroma. Okay. So irregular hard mass showing infiltrating clusters of malignant cells in dense fibrous stroma. So this can be well differentiated where you can find the formation of ducts or tubules. Okay. Rounded structures like in normal breast. So we call them as well differentiated. But sometimes you can find poorly differentiated. So you will find only sheets without tubule formation. Only sheets without tubule formation, and they will be anaplastic. And 2/3 of the cases of ductal carcinoma express ERPR. And 1/3 our express HER2/neu. I will tell you the importance of these. Special histological types are medullary carcinoma, tubular carcinoma, mucinous carcinoma. In the mucinous you will find pools of mucin. Papillary you will find papillary structures, very easy. In the medullary carcinoma I will show you this. Medullary carcinoma is also seems to be well circumscribed. Okay, isn't it? Seems to be well circumscribed. Okay, and it will have large cells, large sheets of polygonal cells, big cells in a lymphoid stroma. So you will find lymphocytic infiltration along with large sheets of malignant cells. Here is the description. Circumscribed tumor, sheets of large malignant cells in the lymphoid stroma. This is the medullary carcinoma. Paget disease of the nipple. It means that there is underlying in situ carcinoma which has gone through the duct into the nipple. Okay? So there is a in situ carcinoma in the duct.
Okay.
It travels along the lactiferous duct and goes into the nipple.
Yeah.
Okay? So the nipple skin will be inflamed. It will be red, erythematous. There will be itching. Okay? So tenderness, itching, burning and bleeding, palpable mass. You can find a mass in the subareolar region. 100%. If Paget disease of the nipple is there, 100% of the cases will have DCIS. In situ carcinoma in all.
Okay.
Because this is basically the extension of the in situ carcinoma into the nipple. Clear? And 35 to 50% can have invasive cancer also associated down. Okay? So this is the nipple which is inflamed and because of the infiltration of malignant cells. So this is nipple skin. Here you can find normal epithelium here and these big cells having empty looking cytoplasm. Epidermis contains an infiltrate of single or small groups of large pleomorphic cells which have abundant clear. So these big cells here looking different from the other cells, these are the in situ cells which has gone into the nipple and caused the Paget's disease of the nipple. So this is one of the presentations of the breast cancer. The patient coming to you with something wrong with the nipple.
Okay, Paget's disease.
Then you see there is a subareolar
In
mass,
situ.
you do the FNAC or excision biopsy and you find the cancer downside. Lobular carcinoma. In situ, confined to the lobules. Confined, it will not go out. Invasive, 10% of the cases you will find these malignant cells, sheets, cords going in a dense fibrous stroma. So they have infiltrated. So these are confined to the lobule, these have infiltrated. Lobular carcinoma in situ, only few points are there. Uncommon lesion. So small cells will be there. They will be confined to the lobule. Malignant but small cells. Confined within the lobules. Increased risk. If a person is having in situ lobular carcinoma, there is increased risk for invasive cancer. The risk is 8 to 10 times more. In both the breasts. Okay? If you find this type of lobular in situ carcinoma, the cancer, invasive cancer risk is increased by 8 to 10 times in both the breasts. So this is the importance of lobular carcinoma in situ. Then you have the invasive lobular carcinoma. Here, this is much less common, as I told you, than the ductal carcinoma. And there is difference. Lobular carcinoma has peculiar characteristics. What are they? They are mostly bilateral, involving both the breasts. They are multicentric. So you will find multiple swellings. So bilateral, if somebody asks you, what is the type of cancer which is bilateral and multicentric, you say lobular carcinoma. Okay? So this is bilateral and multicentric. On the histology, what you will find? You will find strands or columns of cells running in an Indian file pattern. This is the Indian file pattern. In lines. Okay? Strands or columns like Indian. This is the Indian file. So you find these lines. This is the Indian file pattern. And also cells will be around uninvolved ducts. Because ducts are not involved. So ducts, there is a duct and there is proliferation of cells around this. So this is bullseye. You know bullseye? Bullseye, bullseye.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, bullseye.
So this is bullseye, isn't it?
Yeah.
So proliferation of the cells around the uninvolved duct. Clear? So bullseye. Tell them later on.
Yeah, okay.
So these mostly have ER/PR positivity. But HER2/neu positivity is very rare here in lobular carcinoma. And they will spread by, they have metastasis through CSF, serosal surfaces and to the pelvic organs like ovaries. So this is the difference.
Okay. Yes.
Ductal carcinoma has different type. But here the things are different.
1 minute.
Yes, sir.
فين نواف يا جماعه؟ معلش اخي ده نواف. لا انا اشوف لك بس. بصوا يا جماعه قدام نواف الليدر اهو. هل في اي اسبوع ما لقيتوش الجدول بتاعكم محطوط؟ خلاص؟ يا نواف انت لما بعتني حتى قلت انا عايز الجدول عشان انا ما شفتوش. بعته لك ولا لا؟ حركات النص كله دي يا جماعه من بعض الطلبه عيب. خلاص؟ عيب اما طالب يروح يقول طب دكتور خالد ما بيحطش الجداول على الايه؟ على الجدول. ده منطقي يا جماعه؟ خلاص؟ ارجو اللي عنده اي مشكله دي كده، لكن مش علشان انا عايز حاجه اروح اتكلم في اي حاجه. خلاص؟ وضحت الصوره نواف. هل في مره ما لقيتش الجدول؟ وضحت الصوره يا جماعه؟ ارجو اللي عنده اي شكوى او شيء يجي يكلمنا. وضحت الصوره؟ نعم.
كلامه مع انه يبغى يجيب الكلام.
نعم؟ لا 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 لا. It is not allowed. I will speak in English for Dr. Farouk. He is also previous lab organizer. It is not logic, not allowed. It's the first year for me here. It can directly go into the muscles, surrounding muscles, or into the skin. Where it is go? It will go into the skin or into the muscles. It can go into the lymphatics. Axillary is the most common first, on the way. Internal memory also. And from the blood it can go into the lung, liver, bones, etc. Only few slides are there. What is the prognosis of the breast cancer? Prognosis means how it will behave. It depends upon the size of the tumor. Second, amount on the number of lymph nodes involved. Okay? More the number of lymph nodes involved, bad is the prognosis. More the size, bad is the prognosis. If there is metastasis, bad is the prognosis. Histological type. Ductal carcinoma, no special type, has the bad prognosis. Lobular carcinoma and special types have good prognosis. Hormone receptors are there. ER receptor, better prognosis because they will respond to tamoxifen or the anti-estrogen therapy, isn't it? You can give anti-estrogens. You can cut the ovary, oophorectomy. So estrogens will be less. You can give tamoxifen, which is anti-estrogen. So they will respond. So ER receptors, better prognosis. HER2 our expression, bad prognosis. But they can be treated with Herceptin, which is an antibody against this receptor.
Doctor, this slide is in general for breast cancer,
Yeah.
not
This is the
ductal or
staging,
lobular.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can come later on to me, no problem.
Okay.
Stage is 0 to 4. Stage 0, in situ carcinoma. In simple terms, stage 1, 2 centimeter or less without lymph nodes. Stage 1. Stage 2 is 5 centimeter or less with up to 3 lymph nodes, or more than 5 centimeter without lymph nodes. Okay, this is stage 2A and 2B. Stage 3, 3A and 3B. 3A is 5 centimeter or less with 4 or more lymph nodes. So here lymph nodes 3, here 4 or more. Here more than 5 centimeter with any lymph nodes. Okay, and stage 4 is with distant metastasis.
So again, step 0.
Stage 0 is in situ carcinoma, maybe ductal or lobular.
Lobular.
Then depending upon the size and lymph node.
Okay.
Here size 2 centimeter, here 5 centimeter, here almost more than 5 centimeter, and here distant metastasis. Here lymph nodes without lymph nodes, here up to 3,
Okay.
here up to
4.
4 or more.
Okay.
And this is the last one, gynecomastia. It occurs in the males, enlargement of the breast. Enlargement of the breast, swelling in the breast is in the male is known as gynecomastia, maybe unilateral or bilateral. It is due to hormonal imbalance. Can occur at puberty or in old age. Can occur because of testicular tumors which secrete more estrogen. Okay? Can occur in liver cirrhosis because there is more estrogen. Clear? And in the males, carcinomas are very rare and you do not find lobular carcinoma. Why? In males, why you do not find lobular carcinoma? No lobules are there. Some ducts you can find.
Okay.
No lobules, no terminal difference,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
lactation, no pregnancy.
Yeah.
So you want males to be pregnant so that they can get this type of carcinoma also. So thank you so much. You can
Thank
come
you.
to me if you have any questions.